whatsoever.
Sweet.
Welcome to Don't Chuck It Up. I'm Chuck, a college counselor who loves helping parents and educators navigate the college search and the application process with clarity and confidence. Today, we are talking with one of my former students, Grant. Grant, welcome to the show. I haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, Chuck.
I'm super excited to chat with you because I've now known you for about 2 years. So I thought you'd be a great person to have on the show since you just finished your first year of college. So let's start off with, why don't you introduce yourself?
Yeah, of course. Well, my name is Grant Romjue. I'm from Neenah, Wisconsin. Currently at school at the University of Cincinnati. Just finished up my first year and really excited to talk more about it.
Awesome. I'm also excited to talk so much about it because I remember 2 years ago, your parents contacted me saying that you were super confused, super nervous, and trying to figure out this whole college search process. So, what do you remember way back then? How were you feeling about this whole college search process?
I don't even know what I was feeling. I think I was more just lost especially with the Common App, there's so many different options, so many routes. Wasn't 100% sure on what I wanted to do in my life, like much less major school that I wanted to be a part of. So it was definitely a confusing time and a little bit scary at moments, but yeah, it turned out all right in the end.
Well, yeah, and you were doing really well in high school. You were taking
Oh yeah.
solid classes. You were super involved, especially within soccer and other aspects of high school life. So I don't think it was a lack of preparation to prepare to go to college. I just think you were overwhelmed by choice.
Yeah, the choice was definitely the biggest worry for me. I didn't really know exactly where I wanted to go. I know a lot of my friends were kind of set on all these in-state schools and they had this plan, they were ready. And I was like, well, I don't know if that's the path for me. So it was good to see different options. But yeah.
And options we did see for sure. I think you and I looked at a very large amount of colleges.
Yes.
So one of my favorite parts of my job is I act as kind of a real estate agent for colleges and kind of show you, here are your options, big, small, near, far. But you ultimately settled on trying to find a medium to a large experience that you wanted to have in a city, but you still weren't 100% sure on your major. So we had to go with a wide variety of options. And yeah, your college list was pretty diverse geographically and where you were looking at.
Yeah, I was all over the place from East Coast to Nebraska to even some schools out west.
Hmm.
I really didn't know where I was gonna go.
Oh, I think it turned out well, though. I was looking back in my notes, and it looked like you got admitted to almost all the colleges. So we ended up
Yeah.
having a pretty solid application process. The biggest thing that you and I went back and forth on, I remember on, is you trying to figure out which one to pick because you had
Yeah.
had so many great options, as you said, both in state, close to home, and then a little bit farther away. What do you remember from trying to narrow it down and make that final option and picking the University of Cincinnati?
Yeah, I think there was a lot of things that went into play there. So obviously, cost, location, activities, things that you can do on campus, but also outside, so the city.
Hmm.
Uh, it was definitely kind of a crazy moment. I know one thing that specifically drew me to Cincinnati was their business honors program. So I applied and then just got randomly asked to interview. So I went to the interview and they definitely hooked me. So I fell in love with the school, really loved the campus. And then all the faculty, the teachers, they were great. They were super welcoming, walked me through what my first year would look like. And that really set me up for success. And I think that was a big reason why I chose Cincy over other places.
Yeah, but you were predominantly looking by this point in business areas, although you still were thinking
Yes.
possibly maybe engineering off the corner of your eye. But I think we were really settling more in the business area. And you had gotten admitted to quite a few different business colleges and different locations. And I remember you got that email from the University of Cincinnati inviting you to come and interview. And you're like, hey, should I do this? Like, is this important?
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't even really know what it was because there wasn't like a specific application for it when I was doing it through Common App. So it was cool to get that ask.
Yeah. So you ultimately decided University of Cincinnati. Now, you went to high school in Wisconsin, but you were not originally from
Yes.
Wisconsin.
No, I was from Baltimore, Maryland, then moved to Indiana, and then eventually Wisconsin. So kind of jumped around a little bit.
So I think for you, going out of state was a little bit easier because you'd already moved a few times. You were not like the diehard, I've lived in Wisconsin my entire life, so going out of state would be a challenge. So I think that fear was not as big for you.
Definitely. It definitely helps, having gone through the moving process before, kind of starting over, understanding, how to make friends,
Mhm.
that sort of stuff. I mean, which can be difficult for people.
Right. So you went off to the University of Cincinnati not knowing a darn soul.
No one knew no one.
Talk to me about what that was like the start of your first year, which was, 9 months ago. Hmm.
I know, it's crazy how much has changed, but thinking back to welcome week, that was definitely a crazy moment for me, just being in that sort of scenario, but I think what was really comforting is seeing other students who were also in a similar spot where they didn't know many people. Even if they did know people from high school, they're trying to branch out, so that made it easy. I definitely tried to at go to as many events as possible, so, whether it was club meetings, organizations, people having fun, getting groups outside together to go play soccer, volleyball, or whatever. I tried to put myself out there as much as possible and found some people that I enjoyed being with.
That's awesome, and I think that is great advice for everyone: is get yourself out there. Don't sit in your room. I'm always worried about the students that lock themselves up and just play video games their whole fall semester. I'm like, no, get out, go do stuff. You're a very active individual, so I wasn't too worried about that. What are some of the things that you ended up signing up for and getting involved in?
Yeah, so I went to the club fair and I thought I wanted to join everything, and I kind of did at the start. So a few things I'm a part of: Bearcat Ventures, which is UC's local $1 million venture capital fund. So I got involved
Nice.
with that, went through the training process. I'm now an analyst there, which has been pretty cool. So I got involved with that. I joined Queen City Consulting, which is like pro bono consulting organization on campus. So doing that as well. Um, I'm starting up right now a thing called the Cincy Speaker Series. So we're bringing in like high level executives and founders in the area to come in and talk to Lindner business owners and just Lindner students in general. So that's been a cool process, and we're trying to get the president and CEO of FC Cincinnati to come in and talk. So I'm pretty excited about that. That's been great. I'm trying to think what else. There's been a lot. I'm part of the venture research studio on campus, so I work with startups doing consulting work, uh, capital roadmaps, financing, all of that. So that's been awesome. And then outside of that, I play a lot of intramural sports. So, you know, football, soccer, volleyball. I'm always active trying to do something. So yeah, it's been a lot, but it's been a great year.
Yeah, that's been a lot, dude. Like, holy moly,
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep track of everything you're involved in, and I'm going, holy man. It sounds like you got involved with a lot of the great clubs, organizations, and activities that are happening at the business college at the University of
Yes.
Cincinnati. I think that is key for you because you really wanted to do a deep dive into business, even though you weren't quite sure what you wanted to major in business. You knew it was going to eventually be okay, business. So I bet those clubs and organizations and activities are really helping you explore the business options in college.
Yeah, 100%. And then I also forgot to mention I joined the Private Capital Accelerator, which is also looking at banking and other sorts of high finance roles. So yeah, just between that, Bearcat Ventures, QCC, I've been able to be exposed to so many different roles and then also expand my network and understand what these people actually do for a living, which is important.
I was gonna say, the biggest thing about college is networking and branching out. I bet your LinkedIn is already getting some excitement. You really are connecting. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, it's been great.
So talk to me about the FC Cincinnati. What is your goal for bringing in those soccer leaders and learning about how the soccer organization runs in Cincinnati?
Yeah, so I think our goal with the series in general, which we're calling like the Cincy Executive Speaker Series or
Yeah,
something along the lines of that, it's supposed to kind of mimic Stanford's view from the top, where they bring in these high level leaders to come in and talk. So he was a big donor to the school, kind of a natural connection. He's
yeah.
also been a donor to the Business Honors Program. So obviously a guy that we value a lot in our program. So bringing him in, getting to understand how he's built his organization, what he's looking ahead to in the next few years. That's something that we're really trying to touch on and we're excited for.
Maybe you need to start a podcast of similar sorts for the business college at University of Cincinnati and get some these guests to not only visit but record their thoughts and get it out there.
Yeah, we were thinking about that. So we're kind of planning to have it like a fireside chat and then
Right.
also have some sort of audience interaction. So I think we're gonna try and film the first one and maybe get some people from the CCM department or something like that helping do the recording and audio and all that. So hopefully that
Yeah.
would work out. Yeah, that'd be great.
Do it. Do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great way to. I love when students in colleges bring speakers on campus, but I feel like the moment is lost as soon as the person leaves. And I said, well, if you can record some of it, that will help other students who were unable to attend or get the message out there farther and impact more people than just the people that could physically be there. So, yeah, do it.
Yeah, 100%. That's definitely a goal of ours.
So, thinking back to high school, you were a very active athlete. And I think one of the conversations we were having and what I've talked about with other students is how do you go from being a very active high school athlete to not doing varsity sports in college? And I think there's a lot of students are worried about, am I still going to be able to get involved? Am I still going to be able to be athletic? Talk to me about your experience as a really solid soccer player from high school and transitioning into college life at a D1 institution.
Yeah, of course. So I think there's a few different natural pathways you can go down. Obviously, each school usually has some sort of club sports. So I know since he has a club soccer team, it's club swim, track, all that stuff. So if you're really competitive, that's like 100% what you want to do. Those are definitely options that you have. Otherwise, I mean, every school is intramurals. So as I was talking about earlier, I was in, football, soccer, volleyball, and they were all great experiences. Even if you don't think so, like it's still super competitive, especially if you're out of school with, 30, 40, 50,000 people. Like there's some pretty good players there. So yeah, I think that was a great experience for me. And also, I think what's important is being able to channel your, like I'm a pretty competitive person, being able to
Hmm.
channel that into other things. So, I was involved in some case competitions throughout the year, which was great. Obviously, all my clubs, winning over deals in BV, like that's Bearcat Ventures. That's what drives me. So, being able to channel that competitiveness into other areas has been important.
Yeah, but I know that you need to get out and move around too. I
A
love
hundred
that
percent. Yeah.
you're not the type of kid that's just going to sit in a lab or in an office space in the business college all day. You got to get out there and move. So I wanted to make sure that you had a college that you could get involved, and it sounds like you're involved in several intramural sports. So uh,
Yep.
the goal is to win one of those coveted intramural T-shirts before you graduate.
At some point, that's the end goal that we're all working towards. So we'll see if it happens.
So, as you mentioned, the University of Cincinnati is a medium to larger institution, and it's a public, and you're in a different state. So,
Yeah.
what was it like going from Wisconsin to a university that is predominantly kids from Ohio?
I think it was a great experience for me. Obviously, going in not knowing anyone kind of forces you to get out there and to meet as many people as possible. So I actually did end up connecting with a few people on my floor that were actually from Wisconsin, or not from
Oh,
Wisconsin, but have lived there before. So
okay.
it's crazy how small of a world it can be. Um, but pushing yourself to seek discomfort and to get outside your comfort zone is something that has kind of been my mantra for the whole year. So
A little bit, yeah. You definitely were willing to look at places that most other students were because, and had you heard of the University of Cincinnati before we talked about it?
not much. I know they were really good at football in 2021 when they were in the college football playoffs, and
Uh,
that was about the extent of what I knew.
Yeah, and talk about football. Having a stadium right in the middle of the college is pretty freaking amazing. I really was impressed by that when I went and toured. Um, the other thing I wanted to talk about is classes. So you went
Yes.
to a very academically strong school. You were very involved in APs and other college preparation type classes. What were classes like as a first year student at the University of Cincinnati?
Yeah, they went pretty well for me. A lot of my classes were within my business honors cohort, so it was kind of cool being with like-minded people who are also motivated to go make things happen. And yeah, it was a lot of project-based work. Some of the classes were difficult and required a lot of time to be put in, but that's just how college is in general. So overall, it was a great experience, and I really enjoyed connecting with some of my professors that I got to talk to.
Well, yeah, and you're in the business college, which is already a more
Yes.
selective place than the general university, and then you are in the honors program in the business college. So you're kind of a layer upon a layer of academic challenge.
Yeah, definitely. And with that comes usually the top line professors and stuff of that nature. So it's really benefited me a lot.
So was your biggest classroom this year? How many classmates, and what was your smallest class?
Biggest class was probably about 65 people. It was like one of my like intro to microeconomic classes. Smallest, we had this it wasn't exactly a class. Like it was a class in the fall and then spring semester it was kind of something else, but it's called like a pace breakout. So you do kind of like a consulting project for a local company in the Cincy area.
Yeah.
And that was about 10 people.
Oh,
So we got one-on-one time with the instructor, and then we take on this business challenge. And at the end, we had like this keynote kind of presentation thing. So
that's pretty cool that you got that experience
yeah,
with, as a first year. You said that was right away fall.
right away in the fall. Yep.
That's that's really awesome. That I don't hear about things like that happening at many places, so that's really cool. So
Yeah.
the year went by well. Any overall reactions from what happened for your first year at college?
I was extremely pleased with how it went. Once again, super connected, super involved. I feel like I really found like a true friend group there, which was something I was kind of worried about, just not knowing anyone
Yeah.
at the start. So that was very important for me. And yeah, just the experiences I've been able to get have been top of the line. I would compare them to any other college in the world, honestly.
What do you think helped you get that friend group? I think that's a real big worry for students who, like you, get really connected in high school and really engaged within their high school, and now you're kind of going in different directions. What helped you make those strong connections as a first year in college?
Think it was almost completely based off interests, like me joining the clubs that I was interested in, finding people that were also interested in those same things, joining intramurals. Uh, Obviously, LBH has been a big part for me as I've lived on a floor with all those people. So those have all become great connections and great friends. And yeah, just chasing your interests and passions, and you'll find people who are like minded.
Yeah, so you are living on a floor with all of the other honors students in the business college.
Yes.
And yes, you would approve of
Yeah.
that for people in the future?
Yeah. It was, I think it really builds the cohort unity for sure. I mean, when you're in classes with someone, you can kind of know them on a surface level, but when you live with them day to day, you you get to know everything about them. And
Mm.
yeah, it was a great time. We had some fun times in the dorm.
On say the good, bad, and the indifferent, I'm sure. So
Exactly. Yeah.
I like those, and those are like living learning communities that many colleges offer, where you get to live on the same floor with a certain academic department or a certain honors club or something like that. And I think those are great experiences. But it is a little weird because you go to class and then you also see them in the hallway, and it's like, oh, hi, I just saw you at math earlier today. So,
It can definitely be strange at first, but once you get to know everyone, it's super fun. I mean, those are people you go out with, you go to tailgates with. It's a great time.
so let's talk about, what do you have lined up for this summer? I know you were really excited about making sure that you had something to do this summer. So let's talk about it. What are you doing this summer?
Yeah, so kind of going back a little bit, a big emphasis in Cincy is the co-op education. So they're always trying to push their students to get that experiential learning. So I kind of applied around, um, connected with some people that I knew at Oshkosh Corp, and ultimately landed a job there. So I'll be doing the supply chain operations, AI operations. Then I'm also hoping to get involved with their corporate development team a little bit. So as that's an interest of mine. So I'm really excited for that.
Awesome. Are you going to be doing that full time this summer, or what's the work schedule?
Yeah, it'll be full time through the summer, and that'll be part time in the fall and spring. So it'll actually count as two co-ops in my program, which is very nice to have that done.
So how are you going to be doing that in the fall and spring since you're a couple states away?
They said that they're going to send me with some monitors, and I'll hop in, log into calls. I have a little bit more of a lean schedule my fall and spring years or spring semesters, so I'll be able to dedicate more time towards work. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what that's like.
All right, you're going to be doing some virtual work like I do while you're going to college in a different state. Well, that'll be interesting.
Definitely, yeah,
Mm,
it'll be interesting, but I'm excited for it.
just don't forget to sleep at some point in time, and
Yeah,
relax. I know you're young and full of energy, but don't forget to sleep.
yeah, I try my best to. It's there.
So what have you ultimately decided on to major at the University of Cincinnati?
Yeah, so luckily it's super easy to double major. So I'll be pursuing a major in finance and then also operations management, which is focusing more on that supply chain stuff that I'll be doing this year. So yeah,
That's
that's
awesome.
the goal right now. Yeah.
Are you excited for your classes for next year?
Yeah, I've got a good lineup. I'll be in this consulting class as well, which I'm super interested in. It's kind of you connect with a lot of the local firms in the area and then they kind of give you projects to take on. So I've always been a fan of project work and working with others. So I'm looking forward to that a lot.
I am so excited that this has been working out for you. You found a college that really engaged you to do hands-on learning. That was a key component of what you wanted in your college experience. It's challenging you academically because you're a bright individual, and I wanted to make sure that you were academically challenged and being engaged still athletically and in the community. So I feel like this is a great fit.
No, it's been phenomenal. Like, this is definitely the right place for me, and I know I was kinda questioning stuff at first, looking at all these schools that I mean, name brands, it's a real thing that people kinda get attached to, but I've definitely found myself at Cincy and stuff that I've enjoyed doing, which has been important for me.
Well, I appreciate you trusting me when I said, "Don't worry
Yes.
about the name, it will be fine," because you got admitted to some very, very popular, well-known places, and the University of Cincinnati wasn't as quote unquote famous. Uh, and I think you were a little nervous about that, but sounds like there's no regrets now a year later.
Not at all, no.
I do want to mention before I give you a soapbox moment, for those of you who are not familiar with the University of Cincinnati, it is also one of the only colleges in the country that has a lazy river uh, in the Recreation Wellness Center. Am I correct?
That is yep, that's correct.
So, if students are looking for another peculiar reason to check out the University of Cincinnati, it would be to, take a look at the lazy river because that is something I have never seen in the 250 colleges and universities that I have toured around the country. So, University of Cincinnati gets points for that. I really enjoyed my time on campus, and I was excited when I thought it would be a plausible good fit for you. So, yay!
Yeah, no, it's worked out great, and definitely, go and check out UC for anyone listening. It's a great school.
So, now that you are through a year of college and you are a tiny bit wiser, you're not all the way there, but you're a tiny bit wiser.
Getting there. Yeah.
It is May, and so a lot of juniors and parents are just starting this process, including, I believe, your younger sister is going to be doing there as well. What
Yep.
advice would you give to high school juniors and parents who maybe they're just getting started and they've never done this before? What would you say to them?
Yeah, I would say first of all, relax. It's all gonna work out in the end. I know I was super like on top of it, trying to get everything done, trying to get into every possible thing that I could. And if something doesn't work out for you or you don't get into the school that you really wanted to, maybe it's just a sign that it wasn't the right place for you and to kind of redirect yourself and your energy into something else, which is ultimately kind of what happened to me a little bit. But yeah, push yourself to seek discomfort. Enjoy your last month or so of high school because it'll go by quick. Enjoy your friends, enjoy your summer, and yeah, just keep pushing along.
I think that's awesome advice, and I really appreciate you taking time out of your very busy now summer to chat with me and share some tips and tricks with my current listeners.
Yeah, of course, Chuck. Thanks for having me on. This has been great.
Thanks for listening to Don't Chuck It Up. If today's episode was helpful, be sure to subscribe and share it with the family who's navigating the college search and the application process. I'll be back next week with more tips and tricks. Until then, remember, don't chuck it up.